Making New Year's resolutions is like starting a garden in January, but by February, you've somehow grown a bunch of excuses instead of the flowers you planned. In this video, you'll find out why this happens and the strategies I've used to prevent this from happening. We'll discuss these 4 things, but don't skip ahead. Everything will make sense if you follow the video. Why setting goals is important. I've recently read this book, which I absolutely recommend. You can read this in half an hour, consuming it's an absolute joy. This little anecdote by the author easily answers this specific question. Imagine a ship with a clear plan and destination. It will get there, no doubt. Now think of another ship without a crew, no plan and no destination. If it even leaves the harbor, it's likely to sink or end up stranded. Without a goal or guidance, it can go anywhere. That is awesome and so simple. If you don't have a clearly written destination, you're getting nowhere. Why most people fail at achieving their goals, and how to prevent this from happening. Even if we set our goals in writing and promise to stick to our plans, we usually fail within the first month, abandoning our positive resolutions and goodwill, making us feel miserable because we failed. This happens because our goals aren't aligned with our inner values. We procrastinate doing the things we're supposed to do, and it all goes bananas until another year comes. Maybe you want that pay rise to buy that shiny brand new sports car. In this case, you're chasing lower values such as greed, illusion, and envy. Why else would you spend all that money on a vehicle that gives you exactly the same results, that is, moving you from point A to point B, as any other car costing a fraction of that price? Unless those lower values are intrinsic in your personality, you will struggle to achieve that goal and end up procrastinating all those activities you set in line to get there. Instead, if a goal is aligned with your true values, it will be natural and effortless for you to do whatever it takes to accomplish your goal. So, let's say your goal was binge-watching a Netflix series you really like or playing video games for hours daily. Your resistance to performing those activities will be practically none. If you find that resistance between you and the things you want to get done, those activities probably don't align with your values and goals. Before writing your goals, you must audit your persona and find out what your true values are. And I mean those that are deep-seated in you, not those that have been installed by society, family, or the environment. It isn't difficult to do. All you have to do is download this PDF I prepared, print it out, and lock yourself somewhere where you can be quiet and alone for the time it'll take you to audit your life. I didn't invent this stuff. It all comes from this great book, and I hope that the author, Jay Shetty, won't sue me for giving away this content. All I did was shape the exercises it advised us to do to find our inner values into an easier and more actionable format. Just fill in the blanks and be honest with yourself. The 4 tools I use to set my goals. Once you have that done, it'll be time to write your goals. Only this time, you'll be motivated by your values. I'm going to share the 4 tools I use to set this year's goals for myself. And again, a fill-in-the-blank PDF is in the description to help you in this activity. The first 2 tools I'm gonna share were new to me before watching this Ali Abdal's video. I love Ali, and I strongly recommend you watch that video after this one, because I won't go into all the details. The first one is called The Wheel of Life, whose purpose is to establish where you're at. On the first page, you see this pie divided into 3 thirds: health, relationships, and work. Each of the thirds is again divided into 3 smaller pieces. Health is divided in body, mind, and soul. Relationships into romance, friends, and family. And work divided into mission, which is your career or job, money, and growth. All you have to do is rate each of these sections on a scale from 0 to 10, how aligned you feel in each of these 9 aspects. Aligned means your actions in the here and now are consistent with where you want to be. This is important. Let's say that you're a salesman and want to reach 100K in sales this year. If you were to rate yourself by the results to date, you would rate yourself 1, assuming you're far away from your target. But if you're taking action to achieve those results, you should rate yourself as 10. Does it make sense? Rate yourself by how aligned you are, not by the result. It literally takes 2 minutes to do this exercise. Don't overthink it. Do it every month or so to evaluate where you are. The second tool is powerful. It's called the 12-month celebration. For each area of your life, project yourself ahead of 12 months and ask yourself this question. What do I want to celebrate 12 months from now? Set 1, 2, but not more than 3 things per category. The more you focus on single goals, the more likely you will achieve them. Some of my goals are reading every day, journal every day, losing a little bit of weight, posting videos weekly on my YouTube channel, helping out my girlfriend in setting up her business, start a side hustle, acquire 2 new clients for my main business, and so on. Pro tip about setting these goals. Focus on the things that you can control, like your actions, more than the results. Having 100,000 subscribers to my channel in 12 months is out of my control. What I can do is posting videos consistently. It's vital that for each goal, you also write down your why. Having clarity on your why makes the difference between succeeding and failing. Of course, I have a PDF for this tool too. Print as many pages as you need if you have more than one goal in the same category. Fill in your goal and your why in the most concise and clear way possible. For now, you can ignore the section with tasks and calendar. We'll discuss that later. Don't be wordy, it isn't necessary. The third tool is the word of the year. It is a one-word message you wish to focus on this year. My 2023 word was discipline. In 2024, it is clarity. The idea is to constantly remind you of the most important things you must do, consider, or follow to get where you want to be. I'm not saying you need to have a tattoo, but this word should always be visible and in front of you. Stick it on your desktop, put it on your wall, or make it your phone background. The fourth and last tool is the identity page. As you can see, it has nothing more than your name and a bullet list where you state how you identify yourself. This is probably the most important exercise that will help you achieve your goals for the new year. It seems bullshit, but trust me. Actually, trust James Cameron, director of Avatar, Terminator, and Titanic, just to name a few. He says that if you want to become a filmmaker, you only have to grab your camera and start filming something. So, if you want to become a filmmaker, you should start identifying as one and put it on paper. If you've always struggled at reading books, identify as a reader and start by reading 1 page per day. Write your new identity and start taking the smallest steps you can. The results of consistency will eventually compound. If you haven't read this book, this is the time. After you're done setting your goals, you will need a strategy. The strategy I follow to stay focused on achieving my goals. Start with the ideal week exercise. This is a projection of how you should be spending your time to achieve the goals you've set for yourself. I used a free Google Calendar, but you can do it on paper or any other calendar you're more comfortable with. As you can see, I've allocated a fixed slot for the stuff I want to do. My calendar will change according to work appointments and light things that may get in the way. But having it set like that makes it easier every day to know what I'm supposed to do and when to say no to other activities that may be distracting or not contribute to getting me where I plan to be in the next 12 months. Once you have that done, come back to the 12-month celebration. For each goal, define the set of macro tasks you need to accomplish on a monthly basis in the Gantt chart style. Let's assume that, for instance, one of your goals is to lose 20 pounds of weight. Your list of activities would include stuff like getting a gym membership, visiting a nutritionist, and buying some gym clothes. All these activities can be performed in January. Then you can start small and get into the habit of going to the gym twice per week for the first quarter, then 3 times per week in the following quarter. Adding a couple of running workouts in the third quarter. You need to set aside time weekly to buy the groceries necessary for your diet and cook healthy meals for the whole year. You get the point. Once you're done, you'll have clarity about what you'll have to do each month to ensure that you'll be able to celebrate your main goal at the end of the year. It's all there. Next, you want to be able to get more specific with a weekly planner. I have been using this A3 large format for a couple of years. I found it more efficient to plan my weeks and days on paper, so I don't have to use my computer, removing all the distractions from digital devices. Besides, it's nice to have your week at a glance, like that, right on your desktop. As I already know what my weeks are going to look like, because I've done my homework and set up my due week, I use the weekly planner just to write any one-time event that may occur, like work appointments. The main purpose of the weekly plan is to break down this month's tasks into smaller pieces. I write these tasks on top of the calendar, and then I figure out how to spread everything among the days. You may have noticed that in my ideal week, there's a slot set every Sunday evening for planning the next week. I schedule 1 hour, but it never takes me more than 10 minutes. Since I've been using this system, I found myself being 100 times more productive than I ever been. Lastly, as you may have guessed, I plan each and every day, again on paper, using these small and beautiful index cards. I do this in the evening, before dinner for the next day. The beauty of these cards is that they're sitting all day on my desk. Once I get something done, I cross that off, and the pleasure I get by physically crossing stuff out is much more satisfying than clicking a to-do item in any app. I follow one rule only. The number one thing on the list always has to be the main daily goal. The thing that moves the needle toward my most important goal. Usually the biggest and ugliest frog. Read this book. This is exactly what I do to set goals. Be productive, stay on track, be motivated to get where I'm trying to go. It was a long video, I know, but I hope it was worth it. I'd love to read in the comments your experiences, how you set your goals, what motivates you, how you stay productive. If you got any value from this video, please drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. It costs you nothing and motivates me to produce more content like this in the future. My name is Seb. I hope you will reach all your goals and have a fantastic year.